As you can see, it's a beautiful day out. I'm going to start getting ready to go and sell my scrap metal there, sell my steel. There won't be a lot of money in it, but it'll get it off the property anyway. It'll help clean things up a bit, and for that reason I'll do it. It's a nice day to do it, so I might as well take advantage of it. We're living in a climate where there aren't really that many nice days, and so you want to take advantage of them when you have them, you know. You want to take advantage of them when you have them. Anyway, my dishes are soaking there. And the Berkey works pretty well. I'd recommend a Berkey. They're very expensive though, and they've doubled in price in the last 2 years. The replacement filters for this thing now cost as much as the whole thing cost me 2 years ago when I bought it. When I knew I was going to be homeless, I started buying stuff like this, and I'm glad I did. You know, I started buying survival gear, basically. And I'm really glad I did, because it's been handy to have these things, you know. It's been really handy. But anyway, I'm going to get ready to go. I don't quite know where Rocky is. I wish I knew where he was, but I don't. Yeah. Anyway, I just made a video, I'm uploading it now, about my cat Muella, who was killed by a fisher the second day we were here. And she's buried back there. I showed her grave and everything. And there's another part to the story there. A former friend of mine accused me of decapitating her, because apparently, and I wondered about this myself at the time, how this could happen, because it didn't look like a wild animal had done it. It was a very clean wound. I never did find her head. I buried her body without her head. I went back there a few times into the woods looking for her head, but I never did find it. But apparently what fishers do is they take the head off and they drink the blood. And that's why the body itself wasn't eaten or torn apart, other than that the head was removed. Anyway, what had happened was a woman who was a friend of mine. I was looking at the picture, and it did look like the head was removed with a blade. I found out since that this is when when a fisher takes a head off an animal, it does look like that. They make a very clean cut. How they do it, I don't know, but apparently they do. And anyway, this woman called the OPP on me, and so I had 2 police officers come out here, and it was quite a scene anyway. But in the end, I wasn't charged or anything. There was no proof that I had done that, and I certainly wasn't going to say I had done it, because I hadn't. And so they just went away. They left me be. I didn't have any more problems over it. But I did lose a few friends, because nobody else was saying directly that I had done it, but there were others that were saying that it was a result of my incompetence that it happened, and so on. And in a way, that was true. I don't claim to be the most competent person. I wouldn't be in this situation if I was a really competent person. So, you know, but I do my best, and I'm not generally a malicious person. What I am is I'm a person who doesn't always recognize that I'm dealing with malicious people until it's too late, and then I end up losing in a big way, and that's what happened, that I ended up in this situation. So it is in large part my fault that I'm in this situation because I lack discernment. And a man who lacks discernment is a fool. And so for being a fool, it is my fault. But it certainly isn't. I've done nothing maliciously. And as far as my cat Muella goes, that was just a real tragedy that happened. And it is partially my fault because she wouldn't have been here for that to happen, except that I was not able to look after her properly. You know, I couldn't look after myself, so how was I going to look after her? Or anybody? So anyway, bottom line is, yeah, it was my fault in a way, but it wasn't my fault in the way that it was framed, at least by one person. And, well, basically I'll admit that I'm capable of harming other people under certain circumstances, but I'm not capable of harming innocents, I'm not capable of harming a child, and I'm not capable of harming an animal, unless I was actually being attacked. If an animal's trying to chew my leg off or something, well then I might harm an animal under those circumstances. But, you know, any harm I've ever done to anybody was done to other men, and it was done to other men who were doing me harm. And oftentimes that was because I had allowed a situation to get out of hand, again, because I lacked discernment, you know. And so even that would be my fault in a way, because I would allow a con artist to get the better of me or something like that. And then I'd retaliate against him, and I have been violent at times when I've done that. Or I'd allow a bully to push me too far. And then when I'd push back with a vengeance, you know. And as nice as I sound on here, I've had my moments where I was a pretty nasty piece of work. But only when I was dealing with nasty pieces of work. And my little cat Muella was never a nasty piece of work. So she was just an innocent. In fact, it was her innocence that killed her. In a way, she was like me. She lacked discernment. She loved being outside. She'd never been an outdoor cat before all this happened. She lacked discernment. And she loved to be outside, but she didn't realize how dangerous being outside can be. And so she wandered away from camp around dark time. And then it started to pour rain. I think what happened is that she took cover somewhere, waiting for the rain to stop, and then she was heading back to camp when she got jumped by the fisher and killed, because the rain had only stopped about 10 minutes before I heard her being attacked. I was sleeping in this tent here, and the water had come in and flooded the tent. It was a really, really heavy rain. Anyway, I wasn't really sleeping very much, though, because of the rain and the water coming in, and also because I was worried about her. I didn't know where she was. I had Rocky in the tent with me, but I didn't know where she was. Anyway, that's where we're at. That's what happened. It was a sad situation, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess. What can you do? I can't go back and change anything now. All I can do is move forward and try to learn from my mistakes, even though I don't naturally seem to have very good judgment. I at least recognize that's a weakness with me, and that's all. You know, what I'm going to do with my recognition of it, how I'm going to make that work in my favor, I don't know, but at least I am aware of it, you know. Like I say, the one weakness most stupid people have is that they don't know they're stupid. Most stupid people think they're the smartest person in the room. In my case, I'm at least aware of my shortcomings. Anyway, bottom line is, I've still got Rocky, and I'm really grateful for him. And I miss Muella terribly. And then just a few months before I ended up homeless, my other cat, Barney, who I kind of inherited from a friend who passed away a few years before that. Barney, he died of jaw cancer. We had to take him and have him put down. So that was just a few months before I lost my house. So I miss Barney too. He's buried at my old house. I took a rock and I painted his name and stuff on it, you know, and the date that he passed away and everything, and I put that on top of his grave before I left my house for the last time. That way the people who now own the house will be aware that there is a grave there, you know. Anyway, that's where we're at. That's what's happened. And anyway, I'm going to get ready to go into town now. I got a load of scrap steel that I need to get into town. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'll talk to you all later.